Hi, fellow nobodies. So today's Friday. Thank you, Jesus. The kids are going to school next week. Yes. I'm so looking forward to the quiet of them being gone. I love my kids, but God, they're just always, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. Cut this for me. Do this for me. And it's like I get like the little one, he can't do a whole lot. And I don't want him to do a whole lot because he gets some bad ideas. But God, it's just like, Mom, the Kool-Aid thing is too heavy. The milk is too heavy. And, seeing like a big cup of milk that's been set out to spoil because he didn't drink all of it. Pain in the ass. But I love them. I love them, and then my middle kid coming in to say, my leg hurts really bad. And a few days later, it's starting to itch really bad. I'm like, yeah, it's healing. Sorry, the cat's after a fly or a gnat or something that flies, maybe a moth. Butters is always so entertaining. He's gotten bigger, so when he was younger, we would get like him jumping 5 feet in the air, like just some real acrobatics. Tuffy's taking notice, and then we got Lexi girl in her regular spot. I don't really have anything to really say today, like to talk about. I think, what was it, that guy going into a store just to walk around with a gun and armor just to scare people. It's like, what the fuck, dude? The world we live in is scary enough. We don't need people, like I don't need people, like, jumping up behind me and scaring me. I really don't. And nobody needs it anywhere else. I don't care which side you're on, whether you're on the NRA side or anti-NRA. It's not cool to scare people with guns. That's just not cool. To make a statement. Make a statement with your words. I know that doesn't seem to work out very well. But, like as far as getting things done. But come on. Some of those people are going to be traumatized. And it's like, it's one thing to scare somebody and it's another thing to traumatize them. But, lots of people get scared. Think about it. You're driving in your car and you hear some sound and you're like, what was that? And you're scared. Your tire hits a pothole. Oh, fuck, please don't be a flat tire. We get scared daily, often. All kinds of things. Especially women. It's like, hey, my period's supposed to be here today. Where is it? Or we'll get scared. Hey, why are you early? It's like, what's going on with that? So, go away. I cannot pull your tooth for you. I will not pull your tooth for you. I will not hand you pliers. What do you want? I'm not letting you in. I'm not letting you in. Now you're going to walk off. That's my little man. 11 the bits. He had a friend stay over last night. Now little dude is 7 years old. And we had an extra bed and an extra box, an extra frame. That's the word. We had an extra bed and an extra frame. And he's found plastic. So they came to get it. And it was friends of my daughter. Just don't need you unraveling my crochet there. Sorry about that. Butters is a menace. So they showed up and they had my daughter's friend with them, and a little boy is like 9 years old. And I was thinking, okay, we're dragging out the pieces of the frame, and then we got to go out to the back and get the mattress. And I was like, well, I don't want him going out there and getting hurt, you know? So I yelled for Gavin, and I thought Gavin was on his phone, and he come out with his controller. I said, are you playing Minecraft? And he's like, yeah. And no sooner than he said, yeah, that little boy was like on Gavin, you know? And they disappeared in Gavin's room. So when I asked if the older girl could spend the night, because she was here and we hadn't seen her in a while, I was like, hey, can she spend the night? I'm sure Bella would be really, really happy. That's what everybody calls Izzy that doesn't live with us. They call her Bella. So she stayed. Bella was at Goodwill digging. She was at the Goodwill digging. And got here a little bit later. The little boy left. I mean, they had a hard time getting him out of Gavin's room. They were playing Minecraft together, having a blast. Because, see, Gavin has always loved, like, Five Nights at Freddy's, all these electronics and stuff, and Plants vs. Zombies. And he's always, like, bugging the adults because a lot of times, like, the little kids that he'd be around, they don't know what he's talking about. Some of them don't. And so a lot of times, like the older kids, if he sees them playing on a phone, he'll go look and see what they're playing, and then he'll start talking to them. That's kind of his thing. So we were sitting here for a while, and then the lady calls up and she's like, hey, my son wants to come spend the night too. And I was like, sure, cool, come on over. So him and Gavin were up really late playing Minecraft and watching YouTube. Of course, when the boy got here, Gavin was at open house, and we had to wait a while for Gavin to get back. Go! Yay! I'll give you $4 in a minute. Okay, good. He lost another tooth. He's already made the deal of the $4. I was going to give him $5. Yeah, Gavin, if you see this in 20 years, just know you should have held out. I was going to give you $5 in the first place. He already knows the tooth fairy isn't real because we didn't want to go to the trouble of putting the money under his pillow. My kids are light sleepers. It's just not worth it because they almost always, hey, Mom, what are you doing in my room? I'm just checking on you. So that was, but anyway, this kid comes over and, all night, it was just like Minecraft. Like my husband wasn't allowed to be in the living room because they were on the big TV and they were just having a blast. And then today, one of our friends took the day off because he has to take his kid back to Missouri. His kid stays for the summer. And pick up his other daughter, because she went back. He's got like two that live in Illinois or Missouri. And so when his older daughter went back with the grandparents, they took his younger daughter. So he's going to take his older son back. And anyway, when he came by to see my husband, he had his little boy with him, who is Gavin's best friend. Pretty much Gavin's only friend. And, Gavin's always bugging. I want to go to Ryder's house. I want to go to Ryder's house. Take me. Have they called yet? Because I always tell him, you have to be invited. They know you want to come over. They will come get you or call me or text me when they want you. So Ryder just happened to be with his dad. And he come in and he saw, because he wanted to see Gavin. And he come in and he saw what they were doing. And he ended up staying for a while. And so we had 3 kids. And of course, once Ryder got here, Ryder's not really a electronics kid. He is a go outside and play kid, which I think that Gavin needs. Gavin needs one of these kids that, at the end of the day, they're freaking filthy. They've been outside doing so much. So the boys were running around the house playing hide and go seek, and it was just really, really a great day for a great 24 hours for Gavin, because he really got like a lot of stuff, and he's got a new friend. And so that worked out very well, and I made $20. Because I mean, I could have gotten more for the mattress and stuff, but I was like, no big deal. Because I mean, it was like a perfect mattress, but it's really no big deal. And I'm raising a good kid. I really am. I mean, he is a sweetheart for the most part. Like he's not like, see, him and my oldest one, if you hurt yourself, like if they hear you say ouch, they'll say, "Are you okay?" My middle one though, she won't. She won't unless she's reminded that people are supposed to ask that. Like that's a common, "Are you okay? Let me help you up." She sees you falling on the ground and she's like, "Why are you down there?" It's just, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, she's a teenager." No, she's always been like that. There's a lot of things she's always been like. Love her to death. But, when she hits the real world, she's going to learn a lot that she's not going to like. Like that we don't always get our way. No matter what we do not always get our way. We see that all the time with people getting arrested, that they're like, "You can't arrest me. Let me out of this car, get me out of here," and then they'll start crying, and they'll go towards all these different kinds of manipulation. And he's coming back for his $4. I won't forget. I said I won't forget. Monday. Yay. Oh, and I gotta tell you, like, the school is so stupid, okay? Last year, he got on the bus that he got on the year before. Well, last year they were like, "Oh, there's too many kids on this bus, so we have to get you on a different bus." And it's like, okay, the normal pickup time was like 7:05. And the bus that they ended up sending around would pick him up at like 6:25. And then with drop off with the other bus, he was here at like 3:45. With this one, 4:30. Because what they're doing is they've got like this route that's on the, I mean, like you got Bryant and you got Alexander, and it was coming from like one end of Bryant, like the far end of Bryant, and then going through, like going around and hitting like, and coming through the edge to the bottom of Alexander to pick up for 3 stops. And I'm like, okay, well, why not just take 2 or 3 stops off this bus that runs through here? 2 or 3 stops at the beginning, and put those on a different route, so you don't have to waste gas. This year, they want him out there at 6:11 in the morning. Okay, school doesn't start till 8. We live 10, 15 minutes from the school. And this bus is going to pick up kids near the school, then almost go to Benton to pick up a few kids, then come all the way up to county line and just drive through to my neighborhood, passing countless stops to pick up for 3 stops. And like, there's a road right behind mine where there's a bus stop for the school. 7 o'clock. I'm like, you expect, we live one street over and you expect my kid to be out there? I mean, and during the winter, it ain't even light out yet. How safe is that? That is not safe to be walking to a bus stop when it's dark, when all of that could have been avoided just by, so I thought like at the end of that year, I was like, well, surely they'll fix it this year. No, it's the same bullshit. I'm like, okay. Thankfully, Gavin's buddy Ryder, his dad, works really close to the school and doesn't have to be in until 7:30, and he can drop the kids off at 7:25 and still make it to work. So, thankfully, he decides to pick up my kiddo and take him with his kids, because we were both sitting there thinking, we got to get our kids up like 30, 45 minutes earlier. It's hard enough to get them up at this one time. You want us to get them up earlier? No. And I mean, his kids sleep like the dead. They spent the night one time for school. I thought I'd never get those two kids up. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I could have kicked the shit out of those little kids and they wouldn't have woke up. I could have hit them with a hammer and they wouldn't have woke up. My kid, you so much as like step a foot in their room. Yeah, I'm up. Of course, that's how me and their dad are too. Unless we've had a nap. Nap sleep sucks. I mean, you really do kind of do yourself a disservice when you take a nap. I mean, as far as being clear-headed when you get up. So, yeah, this is what the school is doing. It's like, okay, they're wasting so much gas to do it like that. When all these other kids around here are getting picked up at 7. It's like, I don't have fancy degrees. I can't drive a bus. I don't own a bus. And I don't run the school. But it doesn't take a genius to see that math is stupid to do that. I mean, and the reason why my kid has to be ready so early and comes home so late is because they don't want to mess with the schedules of those other kids. So those other kids get to be like these other kids around here. And me and my kids and the other kids on my street don't. I mean, it's like, really? And you can't just schlep them to another bus stop. No, they want to know your address. And then they say, oh, no. Your kid gets on this bus. Yeah, they won't let you just sign up to register your kid on that bus. Like, hey, I'll get my kid to this bus stop and they'll ride. Nope. They see your address and they say, no, you're bus 37. You have to go on bus 37 unless you've got a pass. And the pass is only for like if your kid's spending the night at somebody else's house or they've got to go there because you're out of town or something like that. Then I'm like, okay, these kids live near the freaking school and they're coming. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying that my kids should be picked up first. No, I'm saying that bus should not be running in my neighborhood. Just duh. Yes, it's little shit like that, when you look at things and you're like, this would be so much easier if you just did this. And they're like, oh, no, we can't do it like that because that's not procedure. Or that's not, they'll have some dumb answer. And it's like, okay. Like you take a hospital, they could run quite efficiently, where emergency room visits wouldn't take so damn long. And yet, there you are, your kid just needs an antibiotic because he's got an ear infection. And, and the nurse, the triage nurse looks at it and goes, that looks like an ear infection. And then you wait 3 hours to see the doctor. And then you wait another hour to get your prescription to leave. And it's kind of like, that could be so much easier. Because see, with mine, here's the problem. See, my kid has a PCP. And with his insurance, he can't go to one of those Oh, phooey, it was in my head earlier. Those those places where you just the walk-in clinics, um urgent care. He can't just go into urgent care because his doctor will not sign off on it. They said, "Oh, well, he can go to the after hours clinic at Baptist or this one, and those are open till 10. So if at midnight my kid is there and say they've got a 24-hour urgent care, we can't go to that, you know? And like if he needs urgent care and his PCP is booked up, which if you're not on that phone at 7:45 in the morning, you are not getting an appointment that day. It ain't happening. But anyway, and then they're like, well, you'll have to wait till like 2 or 3 o'clock to call these other two places. And it's like, well, my kid needs to see somebody now, like pretty soon. I mean, at least at the emergency room, you do see somebody pretty soon to make sure that it's not life threatening. But that's why, some people say, well, go to urgent care. Yeah, that's great if your insurance will pay for it, but sometimes insurance says, well, we need an okay from your doctor. They need to okay your visit, and they're not going to okay it just because they're booked up. Blech. A referral. That referral. It's like, oh, okay. The doctor's not in, but you won't refer me, or whatever. It's another thing that's stupid. Insurance, I think that your insurance should be able to get you care at facilities near where you live. Like if you're on Medicaid, you shouldn't have to get, check to see what doctor has slots open. And of course, those Medicaid people can't tell you what doctors have slots open. You have to give them the name of the doctor, and then they tell you whether you can pick that doctor or not. It should be, if I live within 15 miles of this place, they have to treat me and take my insurance. That's how it ought to be. If I have insurance, they should have to take it. If I am within, if I'm within a radius. Period. If you don't like it, I mean, that's what's great about England, is they've got private practice, which is somebody who doesn't take the national health care. It's how, it works. As far as if you want better care, you can pay for better care. And it's not as much rigmarole. So anyway, I'm going to go get in a better mood. Y'all have a nice night.